Akihabara, Tokyo, a neighborhood that draws crowds of foreign tourists. One company here is making efforts to close the gender gap, Tokyo Century. Tokyo Century is engaged in an extensive range of businesses such as leasing centered on finance and services. The group employs about 7,600 people with revenue exceeding $9 billion. What exactly are they doing? We spoke to one of their managers.
In April of 2015, we established a diversity promotion office focusing on 4 main areas. The first is to cultivate a corporate culture. The second is promoting the activities of diverse human resources. Third, supporting career development. And finally, providing extensive assistance for employees to balance home life and work.
They gave us a closer look at some of their initiatives. This is a male employee.
Excuse me, nice to see you.
Please have a seat over here.
On this day, he's come to discuss a certain issue.
I'll be explaining our company's parenting support policy and encourage you to use it. Please think about cooperating with your partner in raising your children. Let me start with this page.
This man actually just became a father with the birth of his first child. He's here to discuss taking childcare leave. In October of 2022, Japan introduced a new paternity leave program that allows men to take 4 weeks off work within 8 weeks of the birth of a child. It's also possible to split that time into 2 periods. Tokyo Century is proactively encouraging employees to take advantage of such policies and has carried out activities such as paternity leave training at its diversity promotion office.
What do you think? When do you plan to take leave?
From what you've just explained to me, I think I might take leave once around next month, so that I can go with my wife to my child's 1-month checkup.
He says he has some worries about his first paternity leave.
I can't help but be a bit worried about whether I can use this system and balance my work and home duties well.
I understand. In terms of taking an extended leave of absence, a key point is to discuss it as early as possible. If you talk to your boss ahead of time, I think you'll have more options to choose from.
In fact, Tokyo Century has had its own in-house paternity leave system 8 years prior to the newly introduced national program. But in the first year, no one took leave. So they worked to persuade employees to take time off and featured employees who took paternity leave in their in-house newsletter. As a result, 3 years after starting the system, 100% of new fathers took leave, and that's continued for 5 straight years. They made paternity leave the norm.
I'm very grateful, honestly. Since I'm going to be starting to raise a child, I'm anxious about everything. My partner, my wife, is also worried about many things now, so I want to take advantage of this system and balance my parenting duties with my work.
Meanwhile, being carried out here is e-learning to promote the empowerment of women among all of its employees. E-learning refers to a form of education primarily utilizing the internet. Tokyo Century introduced e-learning as part of its efforts to close the gender gap. They say providing opportunities to learn about diversity, including gender issues and LGBTQ, has also had the effect of changing the mindset of longtime employees and management.
I have a deeper understanding of diversity and the gender gap now, and as a member of this company, I feel I want to become more involved in these initiatives. Hello.
Company president Koichi Baba has led his employees in proactively closing the gender gap. He says ensuring diversity is essential for growth.
I believe the ability to empathize with others is extremely important. It's not about making everyone feel better, but about getting everyone to realize that there's a healthy angle, a hump, to feel that to grow together. It can be mutually stimulating. A plus B doesn't have to equal C, but Z. I think this will produce a good chemical reaction. I myself need to listen to my employees and become more attentive. It's important to respect each individual's ideas. That will become a powerful engine for our company.
So what is Tokyo Century's vision?
Our management philosophy is about building a global corporate group that encourages diverse human resources to unite and fully demonstrate their skills. I'm quite fond of that. It's precisely what diversity is all about. The achievements and growth of individuals, as well as the group. The total value generated is a company's corporate value and worth.
In the business world, the heads of companies are taking the lead in promoting gender equality. In August of 2022, business leaders from various industries gathered in a Tokyo hotel.
You go in and you have a different idea. You feel very
This meeting was held as part of the Nikkei Woman Empowerment Project. The Nikkei Woman Empowerment Project was launched in 2020 to promote gender equality from a management perspective and tie that idea into the development of companies and organizations, as well as the entire Japanese economy. Lively discussions were held on the theme of empowering women. Aflac Life Insurance President Masatoshi Koide spoke passionately about what it means to be a leader.
To promote diversity, it's necessary for top management to first demonstrate to employees their commitment. Employees are looking to see if what you're saying is only lip service or sincere.
He says the promotion of diversity with that as the premise has had a significant effect on employees.
Thanks to promoting diversity, I saw firsthand how it can become a powerful driver for various other new initiatives to enact change. Without this promotion of diversity, the many other new initiatives we pursued wouldn't have borne fruit. I actually believe promoting diversity helped build our corporate culture of innovation. For example, we've long talked about reducing overtime. I repeatedly spoke about how changing our work style premised on long office hours simply by fully streamlining or stripping out unnecessary tasks wouldn't help promote diversity. Half of our employees are women, so there's no way that would be acceptable. By promoting diversity while changing our work style, we were able to dramatically reduce overtime work. And we saw very positive effects on other initiatives for change.
Among industries at the conference with very few women employees was major general contractor Obayashi Corporation's president Kenji Hasuwa. He spoke about the current state of the industry.
The proportion of women studying construction in the engineering or civil engineering field is actually very low. There's a severe shortage of women engineers overall. This is a problem, not just for our company, but for the entire construction industry. And it's a big reason why we've struggled to promote diversity and inclusion.
To address this situation, the company has been carrying out a certain initiative to promote diversity.
First, we aspire to be a corporate group in which each and every employee feels a sense of fulfillment. This is certainly not limited to women. We want to cultivate a corporate culture that welcomes the diverse views of individuals and draws out their abilities. The driving force for a company's survival and growth is none other than people. It goes without saying, but we believe it's essential for us to create growth opportunities that draw out the strength of human resources to the fullest extent.
Participating from the financial industry was Monex president Yuko Seimei. She encouraged greater participation by women based on her own experience.
It's been more than 3 years since you started leading the company. Have there been any obstacles to the empowerment of women and gender equity? I believe it's something shaped by corporate culture. Culture isn't spontaneously created. It needs to be developed, and ultimately, that's achieved by people and rules, as well as evaluations, for example. These aspects need to be adjusted together with the times. Earlier, we discussed how ideas differ according to gender, and that's something we need to adjust to. Another point is that people will say there are things they can't do, which may be because they don't have the know-how. But I don't believe that there's anyone in this world who knows and can do everything perfectly. Rather, it's exceptionally important for people to recognize what they don't understand and find others who do, to involve them to reach the goal of solving a problem. Regardless of what it is, you need to involve others and not think too much about responsibility. Instead, you should be interested and take ownership. That's what leads to success. Many people have come to me for advice recently about what to do to seize opportunities within the company, and this is what I tell women. Thank you very much, Ms. Seimei. I can see how, even after becoming a role model as the company president, you've continued to make efforts to demonstrate that you're not running the company alone and instilling the idea of not running away just because you feel you can't do something.
It's said there's a tool to spur gender equality. It was devised by G20 Empower, an organization promoting the empowerment of women around the world, and its 2 joint Japan representatives, Michiko Achilles and Tsukiko Tsukahara. What exactly is it?
It's a tool that will clarify a company's gender situation in 5 minutes.
It's called the Gender Lens Checklist. On the left-hand side are 12 categories such as the male-female ratio of new recruits, the male-female salary and bonus gap, and the male-female ratio of top-ranked employees. On the right-hand side are 4 stages from awareness of the issue to improvement producing positive effects that are checked off according to a company's situation. It's a simple list that will immediately clarify the gender situation.
When you have to put in specific numbers, many companies may find it too much of a hassle carrying out that research and may also be resistant to having that publicized. All you have to do is check off the list to see if the categories are applicable to your company and whether there's an awareness of the issues or whether data has been collected, and it can be completed in 5 minutes. Whether or not your company is aware of the issue is something that's easy to check off. Everyone may recognize there's a problem when, for example, a cross-company project team is launched and you look at the members to find only 1 woman. You may think why, when 30 to 40% of the company are women. It's about that level of awareness.
Among the companies that adopted this list, 28 responded to a survey which showed an increased awareness of the male-female gap in length of employment and salaries and bonuses compared to a year earlier. But salaries and bonuses was also the area revealing the biggest gap between the high level of awareness and improvement results. It underscored how companies have struggled to resolve the issue.
I think what's quite difficult is the mindset. Unless you recognize the issue, you can't change your mindset. In that sense, you need a catalyst to realize the importance of looking at aspects that may have been overlooked. We believe it's very important for companies to become aware of the need to take action, and this checklist can be that catalyst. We sincerely hope that Japanese companies can enhance their capabilities in innovation and management, and that this can help unleash their full potential, not just in terms of women, but in all aspects. Our wish is that one key source of power will be promoting the empowerment of women.
Initiatives to realize gender equality are being carried out in various ways. September 2022, the Gender Gap Conference was held as part of the Nikkei Woman Empowerment Project. Guests from a range of fields gathered and held a lively discussion on what's needed to close the gender gap and what kind of vision to pursue based on their own experiences and perspectives.
The biggest reason why many women don't want to take a managerial position is their lack of confidence. It's essential to also educate bosses about what kind of support to provide to encourage these women to become leaders.
Speaking at the conference on this day was Rumiko Seiya, the chairperson of REALS, a registered non-profit organization. Ms. Seiya has been supporting women in conflict zones around the world who face threats to their lives on a daily basis. She highlighted an interesting set of statistics.
Recent research has shown that the success rate of peace processes and peace agreements in which women participated increased by 35%. Specifically, peace agreements that last for 15 years or more increased by 35%. But the question is, just how many women are actually participating in peace processes? This data is a bit old, but in the past 19 years, that figure was just 9%. More than 90% of peace agreements were drafted, signed, negotiated, and implemented by men. So, if at least the same proportion of women were to participate, you could say that the world would be 30% more peaceful. That's part of the reason why we're making efforts to train and educate women.
Asako Tsuji is a creative director as well as an influencer. Ms. Tsuji has been providing gender-related information to the public and introduced a certain reality from the perspective of men.
For example, when we hear the phrase gender gap, many people probably think about it as a women's issue. But in a partnership, it's naturally an issue for two people. This person complains about the lack of diaper changing stations in the men's room at commercial facilities. That's a comment coming from a man. Yes, it is. There's a tendency to talk about the issue as women having to do more of the housework and child rearing. But I think that's a misconception. Of course, women shoulder a bigger burden. At the same time, men who want to take a more active role don't have many choices. This isn't a problem of one side or the other. It's not a conflict of men finding it difficult to manage their life because of the gender gap, and women also struggling as a result. I think it's a combination. There are various other comments, but the one in the middle on the right-hand side is especially representative. Being constantly told I'm a girl is why I'm good at housework and cleaning. I like doing those things, but feel very uncomfortable when a man tells me to do those things because he's not good at it. She's saying it's not like she was born being good at housework or can naturally cook and clean. She can do it because she was told she's a girl and was trained that way. She's saying you could do it too if you tried. Sex and gender are more fluid than we think and have many gradations. We need to stop thinking of this as a dualistic man and woman issue. and think about what the other person thinks. Is this person good at cooking, or does this person want to work? What is that person thinking or worried about now? I think it's about the importance of having a closer perspective.
Japan faces a host of issues in realizing gender equality. And there's still much work to do. Toward the day that we no longer talk about a gender gap.